Sorry, I have my mic muted on my headphones. But we're getting into Akiha's route today. And Eamon's not here. Let's go. Okay. It's lunchtime and the classroom starts to liven up. Some guys are dashing off towards the cafeteria, a group of girls are rearranging desks to form a table, and some students are calmly leaving the classroom, boxed lunches in hand. I watch them while I sit down the milk and bread I bought. Sheesh, not much of an appetite as usual, huh, Tono? This guy in front of me being there is already part of my daily routine. I'm not started about complaining now. But man, what's up with the two of us eating to lunch together? What kind of meal goes on accompanied by a beautiful blossom? If you don't have any blossoms, why don't you join that group over there? I'm not going to stop you. Idiot! When I say blossom, I mean a single beautiful blossom. Those girls making a group aren't good. They're poisonous rather than being beautiful. Arihiko's comment would have probably earned him some rocks thrown in his direction if the group of girls had heard him. Luckily, the girls in our class didn't hear his poisonous words. It's pretty harsh, Arihiko. I know you were a bad guy before, but haven't you been getting a lot worse recently? You're surpassing merely bad and getting into deviant. I can't help it, can I? When there's a truly beautiful blossom at our school, my discerning eye grows more critical. Huh, so who's this beautiful blossom? It's a secret. I don't want more competition now, do I? Arihiko laughs with an ambitious smile spilling over his face. As it is something I don't have, I'm a little impressed by his ability to express himself so frankly. And then, the person I just met comes in from the classroom door. With the box lunch in one hand, there's no way I can mistake her. Hello, Tono. Mind if I interrupt? It's fine, of course. Smiling, Ciel brings over a chair and sits down naturally. Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt at all. Even her smiling reply troubles me. You said to come here at lunchtime, so I thought it would be rude if I did not. It's true I said that, but what I intended to say was that she could come and I would take responsibility if she ended up being hurt. Am I? Arihiko slams the table with a bang as he stands up. Nui. Could it be that you and Tono are acquainted? Yeah, we're more than casual acquaintances. Tono and I have been friends since we were kids. Right, Tono? You could even say we were best friends. Arihiko makes a tight fist for emphasis. There's no room for agreement or disagreement. Oh, really? It was such a coincidence that you two are friends. Sure is. This master has such a calm face. I'm wondering just when did you start kid along with Senpai? Ha ha ha. Arihiko glares at me while laughing towards Senpai. Absent-mindedly, I wonder if that's what you'd call being well-rounded. In the end, Arihiko forcibly convinces Senpai to stay for lunch. Well, since she brought her lunch, perhaps that's what she had in mind in the first place. Oh, and Nui, do you live by yourself? Nah, I live with my sister. Our parents left us in charge of the house, so we naturally learned how to cook, that's all. Arihiko seems familiar with Senpai. He's able to talk to her more casually than I can. I've only met her a few times. By the way, Senpai, you said you were called here by Tono. Did something happen? Yes, I ran into Tono during the break. Wasn't hurt, but Tono hit his head. And you came to see him because you came worried? Yes, that's about right. Senpai's voice is brisk and pleasant to listen to. Since listening is more interesting than talking, I keep silent. It's when Arihiko directs the conversation towards me. What's wrong, Tono? Running into someone. Don't tell me your anemia is acting up again? Arihiko's voice betrays his deep concern about my health. No, it's not that. I was running to the office to deal with some details for me moving. It's when I ran into somebody. Really? Well, I guess your carelessness was at fault. Arihiko folds his arms and nods in agreement to himself. Tono, are you changing schools? Suddenly outbursts almost hysterically. Really? Why does she think I'm changing schools just because of that? I'm not changing schools. I'm just changing my place of residence, so I filed paperwork for a change of address. So that means you're gonna be leaving alone? No, I'm just going back to my real home. It's that fancy place on the top of the hill. I I still can't quite believe it yet. Oh, could that possibly be the Tono-san mansion? Somebody asked with some hesitation. The western-style house on the top of the hill is probably seen as something special to the residents of the town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tono mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's not a particularly good or bad thing. I don't really understand it myself. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling restless. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed since I've always got a refuge at your place. Listen, I'm not impressed with how you come to stay at my house every time something bad happens. I like your personality trait and not standing out, but I've hated how you're always too reserved for a long time now. Arihiko strikes the table with a bang again. Well, everything Arihiko said is true, so there's no way to fight back. Anyway, does Tono really stay at your house that often? Yeah, he does. That damn Tono is too reserved towards his parents, and he would come to my place every long vacation. He's reserved toward them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place, where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Ariko's fist trembles as if to say, unforgivable. Taking care of Tono? Ah. Ariko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay, you didn't say anything wrong. I continue to eat my bread without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complain about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His unwavering optimism is something I am truly envious of. Tono, did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. This guy had no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could see, they're a really happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted child, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with that anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied with. It's just that I've received so much from them already, I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I turn away, and all of a sudden, I realize Yumizuka's close by. Her eyes looks like she wants to say something, but it seems like she can't bring herself to intrude. What's wrong, Yumizuka? I leave Arihiko and Senpai and call out to Yumizuka. I have something to talk to you about. Is now a good time? Sure. Can we talk here? Yumizuka's eyes flicker towards Arihiko. Seems Yumizuka isn't good at dealing with Arihiko. Is it alright if we discuss this in the hallway? I don't mind. I'm leaving for a while, Arihiko. Waving to Arihiko and Senpai, I exit with Yumizuka into the hallway. So, what did you want to ask me? I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but have you been walking around at night in the business district lately? Huh? Business district? I rarely go there even in the daytime, let alone at night. Her question is so entirely off that I become interested instead. At night you say? Around what time? From what I've heard, past midnight. Midnight, then that rules it out completely. I occasionally go out to the business district at night to buy something, but I've never been out into the city that late before. That's definitely not me. My household is old-fashioned, so they got a curfew at 7. You can't get in after that even if you cry. Since I don't want to have to camp outside, I try to my death to get home before 7. I'm upfront in denying Yumizuka's question. She smiles happily. Yeah, I know. The Arima family is also the head of a style of tea ceremony. That's right. It must be really strict for you, Tono. Not so much strict as I like to tease me. Eh? You seem to know quite a bit. Are you a student of it? No, I don't really know that much about tea ceremony. I have a friend who goes there, and she told me it was really strict. Oh, but Yumi, how do you know I lived with the Arimas? I haven't even told anyone here at our high school. You've forgotten that we went to the same middle school together, haven't you? Yumi giggles as she speaks. Eh? Oh, hold on. Accidentally stopped recording. Eh? We went to the same middle school? I can't remember, so I can't say anything, but if that's true, then it wouldn't be odd if she knew I was interested to Arimas. Yumi, maybe, it's okay as long as it's not you, Tono. Sorry for interrupting your lunch. Interrupting my words, Yumi goes back to the classroom after saying this. Alright. Yo, is your conversation over? Yeah, it seems like she just got the wrong person. Hey, Arihiko. Yeah? Yumi went to her middle school. To say more, Yeah, Yumi went to our middle school. To say more, she was our classmate during our second and third year, and now in the second year of high school, making for 3 years in total. Huh? As if he knew my question, he answers. How did you know I was going to ask? Because of that look on your face? But damn, I thought you were just ignoring her, but you actually didn't even notice her. She's really persistent, or maybe she's just eccentric. She has to suffer a lot. Ariko makes a difficult face and shrugs. Ah, I knew it. She is Tono's girlfriend, right? What are you saying, Samurai? There's no way that could be. I'd never even have a proper conversation with her. No, there's no use hiding it. You two look like you get along very well. I'm a little jealous. What's making her so happy? Somebody looks at me with an excited expression. Why did I... Sorry. Senpai, Ariko, you say something to this confused person here, too. About what? I don't know what you and Yumi are up to. All I know is that you two were having a merry conversation this morning. Yeah! A secret meeting at school in the morning! How bold of you, Tono. Senpai's getting more and more worked up in an incomprehensible way. Well, whatever. After all, it doesn't matter to me if Senpai misunderstands. But you mustn't be so blunt to her, Tono. Yumi looks kinda sad, doesn't she? You've got to give her more of your attention. Senpai, lunch is going to end soon. Yeah, see you later, Tono. Smiling, Senpai leaves her classroom. I feel a little exhausted. Tono, don't go after Yumi. Arihiko mumbles this with a stern face. Don't go after? Why? Listen. Oh. Sorry. Instead of saying Yumizuka or Yumi, Amen wants me to call her Satsuki. Listen, about Satsuki, despite her appearance, she's really shy and single-minded. She's not compatible at all with someone absent-minded like you. That kind of girl is dangerous to get really involved with. Arihiko goes back to his own seat. What is he talking about? It's not like I'm thinking of doing something with Satsuki. I mutter to no one in particular and sit down on my own seat. Skip. And then... I don't have anything to do, so I hurry up and leave school. Come to think of it, I hadn't left the school by the main entrance since the entrance ceremony. I guess there'll be a way to and from school, I guess there'll be a way to and from school from now on since I live in the mansion. Leaving from the main gate, I come to the intersection that leads to the residential district. This is the point at which the path to the city and the residential district where the mansion is part. Oh, it's Tono. Suddenly I run into Satsuki. Ah, hello, Satsuki. It may have been because she was teasing, but I feel a little embarrassed. Satsuki looks at me, bewildered. Satsuki, is there something on my face? I was wondering what you were doing here, Tono. Isn't your house in the other direction? Well, it was until yesterday, but I'm living somewhere else starting the day. From now on, I'll be living at the place on top of the hill at the end of that residential district. Ah, so that's what you were talking about this morning. Satsuki claps her fist and open palm together in understanding. Well, all flattery aside, that gesture seems incredibly cute. That's right. I guess there's no point in hiding it from you, since you already know. I'm leaving my guardians, the Arimas, and going back to my real house today. Your real house? You mean the Tono mansion? Yeah, I don't think it really suits me either. I see. You're really a prince on top of a hill after all. It was only a secret, and it was a secret only Inui and I knew, but now I guess everyone's going to find out. With a faint smile, Satsuki casts her gaze into the distance. She looks out at the horizon as if looking at the Tono mansion off in the distance at the top of the hill. But would you be alright? Even if it is your house, you've been away for 8 years, right? Aren't you afraid or worried? Yeah, I'm actually kind of uneasy. I never liked that mansion to begin with, and now going to feel like someone else's house too. But still, I can't lead a carefree life on my own and leave my sister Akiha there all by herself. No matter how uneasy I am, I have to return to the mansion. In the end, it's still my home. I think it's only natural for me to go back. I see. Sorry for stopping you, Tono. You must be in a hurry, right? No, not really. I was just having a stroll on the way home. I see. For some reason, Satsuki looks downcast and falls silent. What's wrong, Yumi? Are you feeling sick? I break the silence, but she continues to stare downwards without raising her head. I can't just leave her there, so I continue to stand there looking at her. And then, yeah, what is it? I'm going along the same way as you until we reach the hill. Really? Then let's go together for part of the way. Huh? You... Satsuki's eyes widen, and she stands there stiffly for a moment. Yeah, you're right. We're going back the same way, so it wouldn't be strange for us to go together for part of the way, right? She says this all with an excessively cheerful voice and stands right beside me. Just at the right time, too. I'm not too familiar with the streets around here, so would you mind guiding me? Sure. Well then, let's go down the street. It's a back street that leads all the way to the street on the hill. I walk home while chatting with Satsuki. Talking to Satsuki isn't anything particularly special, but it is enjoyable in a peaceful kind of way. Despite what Arihiko had said, Satsuki has this gentle air about her, and I feel safe being around her. Hoo-hoo. While we were talking, Satsuki suddenly laughed as she had remembered something. What is it all of a sudden? Did I say something funny? No, that's not it. It's just that starting tomorrow I'll be taking the same route to school as you. She laughed, looking truly happy. That honest, smiling face is enough to make me happy as I watch her. I didn't realize it up until now. Even putting her looks and mannerisms aside, Satsuki is kinda cute. I'm slowly beginning to understand why the boys in our class have been so worked up over her for so long now. Our conversation ceases. I'm simply fascinated by Satsuki's smile, and the two of us fall silent. Without saying anything, we walk towards the residential district in the sunset. Suddenly, hey, do you remember what happened during the winter vacation of our second year of middle school? Satsuki murmurs. I tilt my head to one side. The winter vacation of the second year of middle school was when I had applied to stay for extra lessons at school because I felt bad about staying at the army mess. I remember it well enough, but I still don't understand why she asked me about it. Just as I thought, someone like Tono would have never remembered. Disappointed, Satsuki's shoulders droop. There were two sports sheds at our middle school, remember? One was a new shed used by the big clubs, and the other one was an old one used by the smaller clubs like badminton. The old shed has a certain problem where the alignment of the door was bad, so there were often times when it couldn't open. Old shed. That little concrete building at the back of the gymnasium? Ah, that shed. The one which they stopped using after some students got trapped inside. Yeah, that's the one. The students were second years from the badminton club. Ah, yeah, something like that did happen. It was early in the new year, on a cold winter's day. The first 3 days of the new year having passed, I had applied for extra lessons and requested to stay behind at the school and help out because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. But even that was only until 5 in the evening. It had become dark, and I was forced out of the classrooms as all the teachers were going home. The middle of winter. Even if it was only 5, the surroundings really had darkened. The weather report had predicted snow for that day, and the cold was extra harsh. And so, just when I had decided to head straight home for the day, I heard a banging sound from the old shed and went to check things out. Is anyone in there? I asked, and I heard the voices of several female students in reply from the shed. They had been trapped in there for 2 hours. While packing up the club equipment, they had closed the door because of the cold, and now it wouldn't open again. They couldn't open the door no matter what, and wanted me to call one of the teachers for help. But the teachers had all gone home. Even if I were to call him now on the phone, it'd take another hour. The cold on that day was truly terrible, and the kind of cold that should have prompted snow. I thought it would be cruel to leave those girls stuck in the shed wearing only their PE uniforms for another hour. After some hesitation and confirming that no one else was around, I took off my glasses and cut the line on the shed door. The door opened, and about 5 female students, eyes red from crying, poured out. Come to think of it, there was something like that, but I'm surprised to know about it. The captain of the trapped badminton club told me. This has to do with the club's survival, so don't tell anyone else. It was almost like she was stunning me. Oh, Tono, you had no interest in knowing who was trapped inside there, did you? Listen, I was one of those badminton club members. Satsuki sounds like she's pouting. And so in other words, I still remember it well. When I think about it now, I was only being trapped inside its shed, but at the time, it was cold and dark, and I was really worried. Everyone thought that we were going to freeze to death like that. My stomach was growling from hunger, too. I was just about to collapse. Must have been rough. I can't really empathize with her, so I give a half-hearted response. Unconcerned, Satsuki continues her recollections, bringing up old events anew. And just when everyone was trembling, you came along and asked, "Is anyone in there?" in your usual unexcited voice. And then the captain got angry and shouted, "Can't you tell just by looking?" Do you remember? Yeah, I remember. There was a loud bang when she threw a bat at the door. I was really surprised. That's right, Satsuki says, laughing. But when we heard all the teachers had gone home, we really lost all hope. We couldn't stand being there for even for a minute longer. Yet we had to face the prospect of being trapped until the next day. Just when we were thinking about how miserable the world was, you knocked on the door and said, "I might be able to open the door if you can keep it a secret." Yeah, and I heard another bang and someone said, "If it opened that easily, we wouldn't be suffering in here." She was really angry. Yeah, the captain felt responsible for us getting trapped, so he didn't have much patience to spare. But soon after that, the door opened. Everyone was happy that the captain's knocking with the bat must have worked and ran outside, but I was watching you aimlessly stand by the door. Satsuki looks at me warmly, but that only troubles me. To me, it meant nothing, so I can't really appreciate her gratitude. I was crying really hard at that time. My eyes just felt like they were swelling up and it looked terrible. What do you think you said when you saw me like that? I don't know. What did I say? I really don't remember, so I asked if it was something else. As if it was something someone else has done. Despite this, Satsuki still looks at me happily. You put your hand on my head and said, "Hurry up and go home and eat some ozuin." Or azauni. I was a little embarrassed because I was trembling so much from the cold. I knit my brows. I don't know what I meant back then. I think you meant for me to warm up my body by having some ozunui. I see. It was right after New Year's, after all. That does sound like the stupid kind of thing I would say. Now that it's put to me like this, I regret not having picked something better to say. Back then I thought, there are plenty of reliable people at school, but if I ever really need to be saved, it would be someone like Tono who saves me. You're exaggerating. Look, it's like how a baby chick thinks it's the first human it meets is its mother. I just happened to help you. That's not true. Ever since then, I really believe that you come and help me no matter what the problem was. Her expression is quite resolute. You're giving me too much credit, Yumi. Or Satsuki. I'm not that reliable of a person. It's alright. It's what I believe, so let me keep believing it. She pronounces this while staring straight at me, and I am too embarrassed to offer a rebuttal. Well, I guess you can believe what you want. Isn't that right? So if I'm ever in a pinch, you'll come and help me, right? Satsuki asks me, smiling. To be honest, that would be kind of troubling. Despite what she thinks, I'm not the sort of guy who can do everything. I'm not, but when she faces me with that smile, I don't want to destroy that face she has in me. Yeah, if it's within my power, I'll help you. Yep, thank you, Tono. I know it's a bit late to say this, but I was really happy because of what you said to me back then. Saying that, Satsuki suddenly stops. Naturally, I stop too. I've always wanted to talk with you like this, Tono. Somewhere in her voice was a hint of wistfulness. Perhaps it's because of the red light from the sunset, but somehow Satsuki looks lonely. What do you mean? You can talk to me any time. No, I can't. Inui is always around you, and besides, I can't become someone like you, Tono. With that reserved answer, Satsuki draws away from me. Well, my house is this way, so I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye-bye! Smiling, Satsuki waves her hand and begins walking down another street. Alright, so this one would be about Eamon specifically told me, reread this specific scene. So I'll do it. Apparently, Akiha tried to visit me a few times when I was first entrusted to the Arimas. Unfortunately, we were never able to meet because I had to go to the hospital every day. We completely lost contact after Akiha went to a boarding school. Unlike Akiha, I'm isolated from the main family. That's why I can live freely like this. My high school is just an average high school and our chance of contact was pretty much zero. My old man died and I received word telling me to come back. To be blunt, I had no intention whatsoever of returning to the Tono house, but Akiha's at that house. When we were children, Aki was an obedient child, always looking frightened, as if she were constantly enduring something. She would always follow close behind, her footsteps pattering behind me. She was frail, and her long black hair and fancy western clothes make her resemble a French doll. I am worried about her living all alone in that big mansion with the old man gone. But more than anything, I feel guilty after pushing all the Tono family responsibilities on her and selfishly living a free life by myself. Perhaps my acceptance to return to the mansion is like my apology to Akiha. The Tono mansion is unnecessarily big. Surrounded by iron railings, you could say the entire lot is abnormally expansive, being so large that a whole elementary school could fit inside. The garden, surrounded by trees, is more like a forest. The mansion at the heart of is at the heart of that forest, and there are a few other buildings separated from it. I didn't think anything of it when I was a child, but now that I have lived in an ordinary household for 8 years, the excessive size feels almost criminal. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. All right. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then, the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. We have been waiting for you. The door opens with a creak. Inside lay the lobby I remembered, and a young girl in an apron. Kwaku! Koker! Thank goodness. You're so late, I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you haven't arrived by sunset. The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, I'm so taken aback by your outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. You're Shiki-sama, aren't you? Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama. You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there. The girl's mannerisms are like those of a mother scolding her child. But in spite of that, there's a smile on her face, and it doesn't break the warm feeling about her. She wears an apron over her kimono. She comes out to greet us and addresses someone like me with Sama. This must mean that she is... are you one of the maids here by any chance? The girl answers my question with nothing but a smile. Come, you must be tired. Please do come in. Akiha is waiting for you in the sitting room. The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow, a full smile on her face. Welcome home, Shiki. Her greeting is accompanied by a flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitatingly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years or they had refurbished it since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. I brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kawaku. Thank you. It seems that maid's name is Kawaku. Kawaku-san gives a small bow, as if to say farewell, and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me, and 2 girls I don't recognize. Here's away! It has been a long time, Nisan, says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank, and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiha that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of noble family. Nisan? The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother. You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk? Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a mad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha. People do change over the course of 8 years, Nisan. We are in an age of change. Or did you think we would remain as we were forever? What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiha's words. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. You've become more beautiful than before. That isn't flattery, it's how I really feel. And, indeed. But you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiha answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. As it is as I thought. It seems Akiha does not think well of me. If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan. I feared nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion, though I found out the old man passed away in the papers. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son, Tonoshiki, via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives haven't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100 yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. I am sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father. Aki quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would have come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I am sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Aki's face is serious, but it is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot let go of their feelings for the deceased to achieve such attachment. For someone like me who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there is no longer any need for you to live with them. That's why I had you come back here. It's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but now I am the head of Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. Haha, I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but should I too? Or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have? Akiha shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiha just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. You don't need to try as long as you get the results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care for having too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Huh? Hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I would put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? Well, it's true that I would feel more relaxed, but you've only just become head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing your powers like some sort of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions. Indeed, it's why father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. Not going to put up with— Look, Akiha— enough. Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways. Akiha says sullenly, looking away a little. Okay. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her. Hisui. Hisui! She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? Acceptable? Hold on. Personal maid? You mean— In other words, she's a servant. Aki declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it's natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include the cooking and the laundry? Ugh. Aki is pretty sharp at pointing these things out. At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll. Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, my lady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby as well. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings, with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servant's room should be on the first floor of the west wing. This is probably where Hisui and Kawaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun is already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. Kind of feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Did you say something, Shiki? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. Guess that's what they call being at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. The room Hisui led me to is not one made for a mere high school student to live in. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little no, really too fancy for me. Shiki? It's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Yes, this room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you'll find anything unsatisfactory with it. There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that, as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? This is what I've been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. Seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiar about his place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can get settled here, though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki. You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. Been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I got no choice but to adjust from day onwards. Shiki, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there's anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I don't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. Anyways, you don't have to worry about the luggage. This fancy room is more than enough for me. Understand. Well then, I shall come to call you in an hour's time. An hour? For dinner, you mean? Yeah. Please relax until then. As expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. But even if she tells me to relax, just how am I supposed to do that here? The clock says it's 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion? A television? Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel like there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare troubled face and stares off into space. There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The eldest son of Kugamine-sama from a branch of the family, Taozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son, came to stay for close to 3 years. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives have brought and taking back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he could ever watch a TV. Akiha, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'd die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. Oh, there's a library in the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me. I believe there is one in Nissan's room. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Nissan's room. Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. Hold on, Nissan? Don't tell me you're talking about Kawaku? Yeah. Right now, the only people working at this mansion are Nissan and I. Now that you mention it, they do look alike. I just couldn't connect them as sisters because Kawaku is always smiling so warmly and Hisui is always expressionless. I see. Kawaku does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kawaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'll be in from Akiha if I started watching television. Seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright, I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. Okay. When I get to the sitting room, Akiha is relaxing there alone. There's no sign of Kawaku or Hisui. There are two teacups on the table, and Akiha is using one of them. Oh? Do you drink tea after meals too, Nissan? No, nothing like that. I just thought I'd come and talk to you. My expression tells her, I'll go away if I'm bothering you. Then please sit down. Is tea alright for you? Sure, I'll have anything that's nice. I actually prefer Japanese tea, but I'll keep that bit of selfishness to myself. Akiha takes the teapot and pours transparent red tea into another teacup. Thank you. I sat on the sofa and raised the teacup to my mouth. Before my eyes is the cool and collected Akiha, and it makes me a bit uneasy. I came to talk to her, but to be honest, I really don't know what to say now that she's in front of me. Nissan, you're very quiet. Didn't you come to talk to me? Akiha stares. The atmosphere is not so much that of a younger sister, but more of an unfamiliar young lady. It's not one in which I can speak freely. Well, I was just wondering, what have you been doing for the past 8 years? It goes without saying. With Nissan not around, Father's attention turns solely to me. Akiha glares in complaint. It seems that the last 8 years are a taboo subject. And what about you? What have you been doing for 8 years? I sent many letters, but I didn't receive a single reply. Ah, I choked involuntarily. Certainly Akiha sent many letters, but I never replied. It was a poor correspondent, but at the bottom of my heart, I wanted to sever all links with the Tono Mansion, and that made me reluctant to write to Akiha. Well, don't worry about the letters. Even if you had answered, I'm sure Father would have never allowed the replies into the house. More importantly, how do you feel, returning to the mansion for the first time in 8 years? It has changed very little, though there was some restoration work done. In spite of Akiha's words, the mansion still feels completely unknown to me. 8 years ago, I was just a child. Even if I remember the mansion a little, I feel like I'm in someone else's house, and it's very unsettling. Nissan? I don't know, I was just lost in thought for a moment. You say this mansion's changed very little, but it's pretty unsettling for me. Though the sitting room and the lobby are kind of familiar, I can't really remember the corridor nor my room. Really, I guess 8 years is a long time. I guess that's it. It's like half my life so far. Can't really expect to have clear memories. Well, it's been 8 years, so it doesn't feel right, but I think I'll get used to it. I'll be thankful if you overlook my poor manners for a while. Please don't be ridiculous. I can hardly look any more leniently upon Nissan's manners than I do already. But, ugh, that was close. I almost sprayed the tea I was drinking. At supper, Akiha's look sent me into cold sweat after all I did was use the wrong knife. I see. You're being lenient back then. Yeah, I'm making concessions appropriate to your abilities. Nissan has been brought up by the Arimas after all. As Aunt Keiko comes from a branch family, a certain amount of laziest fare was permitted, and you were spoiled, Nissan. The result is the supper we had a while ago. Well, it can't be helped, can it? We never really thought I'd be returning here. Is that so? You almost sound like you didn't want to return, Nissan. Don't be stupid, it's not like that. I may have my doubts, but I couldn't just leave you alone here, could I? What kind of brother would I be then? Yes, it's the reason I returned. If it weren't for Akiha, I would never returned. Since I heard nothing for almost 8 years, I always wondered whether you were alright on your own. I came back to the mansion because I was worried about you. Looking a little off to the side, I put my honest feelings into words. Well, then But I guess I was just worrying over nothing. In the past 8 years, you seem to have grown strong. I'm relieved, but a little disappointed. No, a bit is saying too little. Since I only had the image of the calm Akiha back when she was small, the sharp Akiha right now seems to be a different person. Really? I'm sorry I didn't mean Nissan's expectations. Akiha's eyes are scary. Crap, I think I may have said too much again. Well then, Nissan, how is life at the Arima residence? Akiha asked, still with a frightening expression. I feel like I'm under terrible pressure, even though I'm only talking to my younger sister. Nissan, did you hear what I said? I heard. Life at the Arimas, right? It was normal. There were no real problems. It seems like it was more suited for me living there, too. It's not what I meant. How is your health? I have heard you collapse a lot from your chronic anemia. Yeah, I did for about a year after I left the hospital, but I'm okay now. I only have problems occasionally, about once a month. I'm certainly not frail enough to be worried about. Bluffing, I strike my chest with a scar. Akiha nods in serious assent. But, Nia-san, you also started wearing glasses. After going to the hospital, did your eyesight fail also? I see. Akiha doesn't know I wear glasses or why I wear them. I can't just explain the lines along which things break, or that they don't appear when I wear these glasses. Well, it's nothing. My eyes became a little strange after the accident, but it's not like my eyesight's gone bad, so it's not really a serious problem. Really, I was surprised when I saw you a while ago. I didn't know you had started wearing glasses, Nissan. Really? You seemed pretty calm back then. Of course, I was meeting you for the first time in 8 years. I couldn't let you see me acting strange. Akiha's brow creases sullenly. Akiha-sama, the bath is ready. What should I do? Really? Thank you, Kawaku. I'll go soon, so go ahead. Is that alright? After all, you're relaxing with Shiki. Shiki might run away, but the bath won't. Please relax a little longer. It's fine. We weren't talking about anything important anyways. Akiha stands and walks past Kawaku into the lobby. Kawaku follows Akiha. Left alone in the sitting room, I finish the tea. Akiha and Kawaku seem to be heading to the bath, so I guess I'll go back to my room. Hang on. Akiha and Kawaku aren't going to take a bath together, are they? No, I bet they are. Then maybe Kawaku would be washing her back? Of course, with another girl that's no problem, but... Well, you are free to imagine whatever you wish, Nissan, but... Akiha returns with amazing timing. Don't force Hisui to do stupid things. Unlike Kawaku, she doesn't really get jokes. Akiha looks accusingly as if she sees my thoughts. I'm surprised. Maybe this mansion has some listening devices. Wait, what are you doing back here? Were you taking a bath, Kawaku? I forgot to tell you something about the bath. Nissan, the large bathroom we used a long time ago isn't used anymore. It would be too much for Hisui and Kawaku to take care of, so it has been closed up. Large bathroom? Was there such a place? I splutter a bit. Unable to remember, I make a doubtful face. Akiha's brows knit terribly. The bath in the courtyard. You don't even remember that? Well, now that she mentions it, I guess there was such a thing. But this is a European-style mansion. Isn't such a thing a little out of place? Father half liked the Japanese style of architecture. That is why the detached building is Japanese style as well. Anyway, if you want to have a bath, please use your own. The second bathroom behind the lobby is yours, Nissan. With that, Akiha leaves. Alright, with Akiha gone, there's no point in staying in the sitting room. I'll have a bath too and return to my room. When I return to my room, my bed has been made. I guess Hisui did it when I was gone. I'm glad she did, but it's really more than I deserve. I scratch my cheek. Then, are you there, Shiki-sama? I can hear Hisui's voice along with a knock at the door. Yeah, I'm here. Come in. Excuse me. Good evening. Thanks for making my bed, Hisui. Hisui quietly nods in acceptance. Just like I thought, I'm not used to this. Is there anything else you want to tell me? No, nothing from me, but Akiha has instructed me to answer any questions you may have. I see. There are many things I want to ask, but I'll probably get to know them as I continue to live here. Yeah. What I want to know right now is before I sleep is it true that the curfew here is 7? Yes. The main gate is locked at 7, and all the entrances to the mansion are to be locked at 8. It's also a rule that one must not try to go walking around in the mansion after 10. Not even walking around in the mansion? Well, I've got no complaint with that, but isn't that kind of harsh? Aki and I are children, so I don't think you have to go far. Indeed, it is a rule, however, so please abide by it. You are aware of the recent disturbances at night, are you not, Shiki? Yeah, that vampire thing Arihiko was talking about. Well, as long as something like that is happening, I think it's better to be safe than sorry. What else? Oh, do you mind if I ask an off-topic question? Yes, what is it? I'd like to know what kind of work you and Kawaku do around here. I'm here to serve your needs, and my sister Kawaku is to serve the lady Akiha. In our spare time, we do the maintenance chores around the mansion. Is there anything more you would like to know? To serve. So that's what it is after all. My feelings suddenly feel heavier. It seemed completely natural to Akiha when she said it, but I'm nothing more than a normal high school student. I have no interest in having a girl close to my age serving me, at least for now. By serving me, you mean you're a personal servant? Yeah. Please do not hesitate to give me instructions. Well, I get it. Going by how Akiha was talking about you, it doesn't seem like I can dismiss you, so I'll obediently let you serve me. Is there anything in particular you would like? Nothing in particular, but could you stop calling me Shiki-sama? To be honest, I get chills down my back whenever I hear it. But Shiki-sama, you are my master. That's what I'm saying I hate. I've been living a normal life up until yesterday. I have no desire to start living a life where a girl my age addresses me with Sama. I see. Hisui's response was less than enthusiastic. Just call me Shiki in exchange, I'll call you Hisui. Let's do away from the formalities and be more casual with each other. Still expressionless, Hisui lowers her eyebrows as if she's being troubled. But you are my employer. It's not like I'm hiring you. You're the one doing the things I can't, so you're the great one. I see. Hisui gives another unenthusiastic reply. Looks like I won't be able to talk her into it just one day. Anyhow, that's how it is. Don't be so formal towards me. I'll be grateful if you do that. If you tell that to your sister Kawaku too. Very well, as you say, Shiki-sama. Expressionless, Hisui bows her head. She completely failed to understand. I will be leaving now. Please rest now for tonight. Bowing, Hisui puts her hand on the doorknob. Oh, I forgot to ask something. Hold on for a second. Running towards the door, I put my hand on Hisui's shoulder before he leaps. In an instant, Hisui's arm pushes away my arm with incredible momentum. With a whack, she slaps my hand away and leaps back. Huh? It's so sudden that that's the only thing I can say. Hisui is expressionless, but she glares at me fiercely. Did I just do something wrong? I'm very sorry. Hisui's voice sounds very nervous. I'm not used to being touched. Please forgive me. Hisui's shoulders are trembling. I feel like I just did something really terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize without thinking. I don't understand why myself. Just feel sorry for Hisui and I lower my head. Hisui says nothing. I get the feeling her stare is calm again. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I am the one to blame. No, well, maybe, but I scratch my head. Hisui stares at me, pausing only to blink for a second. What was it you wanted to ask me, Shiki-sama? That's right. I stopped Hisui because I wanted to ask her something. Oh, I wanted to ask about Akiha. Doesn't she go to a boarding school? That was only during middle school, Shiki. From this year onwards, Akiha has special permission to attend school from home. You mean she goes to school from here? Yes, but it's uncommon for her to come home before dusk, like today. Akiha-sama has practice up until dinner, so she is always home before 7. Practice? Practice what? Today is Thursday, so she would have had violin practice. Eh? Usually she's able to return to before dinner on weekdays, so if you have anything to say to Akiha, please let Nissan know after dinner. Hisui bows to say goodbye and leaves the room. Violin practice? What on earth is that? She's not some upper-class lady or anything, so why she would have to do something as bothersome as... Oh wait, she is an upper-class lady. Yeah. Kind of thing about my sister Tono Akiha is a natural-born upper-class lady. In my memory, she was always the obedient, never ever uneasy sister, constantly following me around. As a child, she was always quiet, never even having the courage to express her own desires. She was a frail girl who would always live in fear of a scolding from our father. Yeah, people do really change after 8 years. After 8 years, I've become the me I am now. Aki has become the person she is right now, too. 8 years is a long time. Except for a lot of lives up until now. I was absent from this mansion during that vital period where a child becomes an adult. I'm sorry, Akiha. I think things would have been better if I'd been with her during those 8 years. I unknowingly mumble apology. Go to sleep. The howling continues. There's no way I can sleep like this. I can't sleep, but that's just normal. I'm sleepy, so I'll pass. Pulling the sheets over me, I stretch out on the bed. I can just think of the howling as a sound of something mundane as cars driving by on the street. Today's been a very long day. I'm mentally tired from eating dinner in this unfamiliar mansion and my conversations with Akiha and everyone else. After all that, howling is just background noise. I close my eyes and gently fall asleep. I think I just heard something. Half awake, I look at the clock. It's past 2. It's been about 2 hours since I heard the dogs howling. The dogs howling has already stopped. The mansion is so quiet I can hear the clock ticking in the silence. I hear it again. Inside the mansion, from the lobby? Could it be a burglar? It's not impossible. The mansion's contents are outrageously valuable. On top of that, with no one here now except Kawaku, Hisui, Aki, and myself, it's very insecure. Getting out of bed, I slip out of the room quietly. One sec. If it's a burglar, Aki and everyone will be in danger, so I can't let this one go. I'll just look down from the second floor into the lobby. That should be safe enough. There's nothing wrong there. No, someone's there. The figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby... The figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby with wobbling, uncertain steps is... Akiha? She's not going to her own room on the second floor, but to the first floor, the west wing. The only things there are Kawaku's room and my old man's room. What is she doing at this time of night? I can murmur all I want, but I won't be getting any answers. After gazing at the lobby for a while, I decide to return to my room. Well, she probably had something to do or went to see Kawaku. I feel bad about sneaking around and watching her, and I don't want to just ask her about everything she does. Sleep. There's school tomorrow. I bury myself in bed and close my eyes. As I fall asleep, my thoughts keep returning over and over to Akiha's hollow-eyed figure in the lobby, and how something seemed wrong. Well, back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world which would take days to explore. Every day was fun. No one thought about ever growing up, and we believed that days and nights would always be the same. It was just a childhood spent playing like puppies. We got along wonderfully, and were the best of playmates. Whenever I turned back, Aki would be there waving her hands and hiding shyly. Yes, always the same. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world which would take days to explore. Good morning. Hear an unfamiliar voice. The dream disappears, and all that remains is the feeling my languid, waking body. It is morning. Time to wake up, Shiki-sama. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Stop calling me Shiki-sama already. I told you yesterday it sends chills down my back. I wake up. Hisui stands far from the bed like a statue. Where am I? Good morning, Shiki. A girl in the maid uniform bows. Ah, yeah, I came home, right. Push myself up and look around the room. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. There's no need to thank me. It's my duty to come and wake you, Shiki. Hisui answers indifferently, completely expressionless. Ah, really? Okay, then. Even in an unfavorable light, I think Hisui's features are beautiful. It should be wonderful for such a girl to wake me every morning, but as Hisui never smiles, I don't feel that happy about it. What a shame. If Hisui had only had half of Kawaku's brightness, she would be really cute. Do you need something? Realizing I am looking at her, Hisui stares straight back at me. No, nothing at all. Waking up with you there makes me feel like I'm really at the Tono mansion. Now then, getting off the bed, I stretched out both arms. Shiki, there is no time. From the mansion to your school is a 30-minute trip. This leaves only 20 minutes for breakfast. Eh? Ah! It's already 7 o'clock? I gasped in amazement after looking at the clock. My repeated awakenings last night must have messed up my sleep pattern. Your uniform is folded and awaits you over there. Please come to the sitting room after you've changed. Damn it, if you're gonna wake me up earlier. Muttering selfishly to myself, I reach for the uniform. It's folded neatly, and the shirt has even been ironed. Passing my wrists through the sleeves feels good. It's that fresh, brand new feeling. Aki and Kohaku are relaxing in the sitting room. Aki is wearing the uniform of the Agasmi Ladies' Academy, a famous school for young girls. They are drinking tea together gracefully as if breakfast ended a long time ago. Okay, what choice would this be? Because Amen gave me a big jerk. Greet Akiha. Hey, morning Akiha. Morning Isan. Morning Shiki. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. Please eat up. In contrast to Akiha, Kawaku greets me with a cheerful smile. Ah, thank you very much. Looks like you're having your after-meal tea. Have you already finished breakfast, Akiha? Of course. I don't care when you get up, Nisan, but please at least make some time for breakfast. Having breakfast after 7 is a sign of sloppiness. I think having breakfast at 7 is pretty normal. What time do you get up, Akiha? I get up at 5 in the morning. What about it? Wow, I don't know why she gets up so early, but it was a perfect time to get up that I have no room to retort. Besides, your school is 30 minutes from here on foot, isn't it? Please don't be late to a school that's so close by. It'd be an embarrassment. Akiha's words are filled with thorns that stab at me. But as it's the truth, there's no opening for a counter-argument. Akiha? It's almost time to leave. Is this alright? I know. Sheesh, don't be so worried over stuff like this on the first day. Muttering some complaints, Akiha stands up. Well, I must say goodbye. Nisan, you should apply yourself to your studies today. Akiha leaves the sitting room. Kawaku follows, seeing her off. Apply myself to my studies. She's quite ceremonious about trivial things in an old-fashioned kind of way. Guess it's because she's been disciplined under our old man for the last 8 years. Well, I'd have gone to school even if she hadn't said anything. I scratched my cheek. There was something about Akiha's face as she left. Because of it, I paid no attention to all her various admonishings this morning. Of course. I clapped my hands together. For some reason, Akiha's face just then seemed to resemble her face from long ago. After eating the breakfast Kawaku saw and prepared, I exit into the lobby. Hisui was sitting there with my bag. Shiki, have you enough time? Yeah, it should only be 20 minutes to school if I run. It's only 7:30, so I should be fine even if I take the long way. Seeming satisfied with this answer, Hisui bows her head in assent. Then allow me to see you out. Eh? Ah, yeah, thank you. I still feel terribly awkward having my own servant. Oh, Shiki, please wait just a moment. With pattering footsteps, Kawaku runs down from the second floor. Hisui steps back and falls silent as Kawaku's son approaches. Huh? Weren't you with Akiha? Lady Akiha goes to school by car. Since I had something to give you this morning, I stayed behind. Something to give me? Yeah, this came from the Arima family yesterday. Kawaku smiles. Eh? But I have all my luggage already. The things I used while I was at the Arimas all belong to them, so all I've got are my own clothes. Really? But this was sent here nonetheless. Kawaku hands me a thin wooden box perhaps 20 centimeters long. It's not heavy at all. Kawaku, I've never seen this before. Well, apparently it was left to you by your departed father. It was to be given to you in the will. By my old man? Can't feel anything about that. What's the old man who expelled me from this mansion 8 years ago doing leaving me things. Oh well, Kwaku, please take it to my room for me. Kwaku is staring intently at the wooden box. She seems almost like a child who wants a toy. Stare. No, she is a child. I get it. You want to know what's inside, right? No, not at all. I merely wondered for a moment. Like I said, you do wonder what's inside. Alright, let's open it. 1, 2, 3. With a dry sound, the wooden box opens. Inside, there is a 10-centimeter bar of thin iron. It's an iron bar. Undecorated and unworn, it has finger marks all over it. The old man must have really hated me to leave a piece of junk like this. No, Shiki, it is a fruit knife. Kwaku takes the iron bar out of the box. See, it's in one of those folding knives. 1, 2, 3. With the sound of sliding metal, a 10-centimeter blade pops out from the bar. I see, it certainly is a knife. It's old, but it seems pretty solid. The year and the era it was made in is written on the back. Kwaku replaces the blade and hands over the knife. Certainly, there's a number written on the grip. The character 7 and under it, the character Knight. Nissan, there's no era by that name. Just says, Nanatsuyoro. Ah, I turn around in surprise. Hisui, who had been silent until now, was looking at the knife over my shoulders. You surprised me, Hisui. You should say something. You don't have to look over my shoulder like that, you know. You want to see it? I'll show you to you. Ah, Hisui's cheeks become faintly red. Please excuse me. That knife is so beautiful I could not help myself. Beautiful? You really think it's beautiful? Looks kinda beat up to me. Not at all. The tempering of the blade is masterful. I think it's a knife with some proper history. Really? Looks to me like a piece of junk. But since Hisui seems so convinced, I begin to feel the same thing. In its own way, I guess it's not such a bad inheritance. 7 knights. Maybe that's the name of this root knife? Maybe, though I can't imagine him naming a knife like that. Whatever the case may be, it's obvious that it's an antique. Well, in any case, I believe in taking what's given to me. I placed the blade and put the knife in my trouser pocket. Shiki, have you enough time? Ah, I have to get going. Well, Kawaku, thanks for the delivery. Kawaku smiles and waves me off. I come out to the gates. Hisui falls in silence. Hisui, you're seeing me off? Hisui nods wordlessly. Shiki, what time shall we expect your return? It seems Hisui will continue Sama to the bitter end. Well, if I take time to argue it now, I'll be late for school. I'll complain about the honorific later. Shiki? Yeah. Probably around 4 o'clock, I think. I don't do any club activities. When I don't hang out with Arihigo, I usually get back pretty early in the evening. Hisui bows deeply at my random estimate. I understand. Please take care on the way. I'm not sure what to take care about, but she's probably just worried about my health. Yeah, thanks. You too, Hisui. I return the goodwill with good intentions. With an energetic wave of the hand at Hisui, I leave the gates of the mansion behind. I go down the hill. Since I've attended school from the Arima's house up until now, this is my first time taking this route. Not many from our school. Apparently, there are not many people from my school who live around here. 7:30 in the morning. I can't see anyone running along the streets in a school uniform except me. Slowly, I begin to see some people in school uniforms intermingled with the crowd. This is around where the road to school begins. Where's where's Satsuki? Well, I'm not gonna be that lucky. I recall the smiling face of the classmate who departed here yesterday saying, "My house is this way." As I think of Satsuki in the classroom, my pace quickens a little and I hurry towards the classroom. I leave the residential area and reach the crossroads. The gates will be closed in about 10 minutes. I start to run across the asphalt. I made it. Seems like it took 20 minutes rather than 30 from the mansion. Only you'll leave around 7 if I want to go slowly, since I ran several times on the way. When I get to the classroom, I notice the air is buzzing. Although the classroom in the morning is always noisy, there's something different about the noise today. I walk to my desk by the window. Arihiko's waiting there sullenly. Arihiko, did something happen? Dunno. It's nothing big. There's a rumor that someone in class ran away from home. Ah, that's what all the fuss about is then. I sit down at my desk with a sigh. What do you mean? What do you mean, nothing big? Who ran away? Who? Or, what do you mean? Wait. Or, what do you mean nothing big? Who ran away? Who? How should I know? But we'll know when homeroom starts.
Whoever's seat is vacant, they must be the one who ran away from home.
Ah, that's true. It's true, but Arihiko's attitude seems a little dry. If one of our classmates really has run away from home, I think it's a bit much of a problem to... I think it's a bit much to just ignore it as someone else's problem. Arihiko, aren't you being insensitive? One of our classmates ran away from home. Aren't you worried?
Eh? You're the only one who's seriously worried, dumbass. Everyone's talking about it because it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not as if you or I had run away from home, so there's no need to worry, is there?
Now I remember. This guy's cold like that to everyone except his friends.
Though I guess I am a bit worried. Running away from home at a time like this, they'd have to be really brave or really...
A time like this? What kind of time is that?
I told you yesterday, Tono. There's a serial killer going on the streets right now. I don't know who ran away from home, but they'd have no excuse if they got attacked by him while living on the streets.
Can't be. There's no way that happened.
Tono, you should watch TV more. There's been 8 victims already, and he doesn't discriminate. You better think again if you think you're safe.
Town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring. Oh, wait.
The town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring.
Arika's voice is very serious. Hearing it, I begin to feel uneasy.
Oh, Kunifuji here. Tell him at last.
Ariko returns to its seat. After a while, everyone is seated. Only one seat is empty. There's no mistaking it. The desk of Satsuki is empty. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. Satsuki said that when we parted yesterday. I don't know what happened at home, but I can't see her making that smiling face before running away. Satsuki is absent. Satsuki is merely treated as absent as attendance is taken. As if nothing is amiss, homeroom proceeds. I know Satsuki was smiling yesterday. I think that she could make such a face, say bye-bye, and then run away from home. Sensei, what is it, Tono? Question? Yes, it is true that a student in class has run away from home? Instantly, the air in the classroom solidifies. He frowns, then, with a difficult expression, bows his head in assent. Yes, that's what we heard from Yumizuka Satsuki's parents. Yumizuka didn't come home last night, but they've been searching, and I'm sure they've already found her. Saying so, he departs. Classroom becomes noisy again. I have a bad feeling about this. It's really heavy. Terrible feeling, as if my body is tied down to this chair. I still feel down even when lunchtime arrives. While the news of Yumizuka Satsuki running away from home was shocking, it seems it wasn't a topic that could last forever. The classroom is just like always, and it seemed that the only one troubled by our absent classmate.
Dono, let's go get lunch.
It's okay. I don't really feel like it.
Guess it can't be helped. Don't be troubled with other people's problems too much.
Other people's problems, huh? Arihiko's words are too close to the truth. Huh? You're not with Inui today? So am I. What are you doing in our classroom? Well, I thought I'd have lunch with you guys. Tono, aren't you gonna eat something? Senpai sits down on the desk looking at me anxiously. Nah, I just don't seem to have any appetite today. Ah, you're not feeling well? Something like that. Don't worry about me. You go on to the dining hall. Ariko's probably already there. Oh, you're not energetic at all. I don't know what happened, but if you don't eat lunch, you'll just feel even worse. That's true, but since I'm not hungry, there's not a lot I can do. Alright, I'll take you somewhere special. It's really a secret, but you're special, Tono. With that, she grabs my arm and pulls me out of the chair. Somebody takes me to an unused classroom in the very corner of the school building. Huh? This is a Japanese-style room, isn't it? That's right. It's very relaxing since no one else is here. Well, that's true, but isn't this place locked? Yes. It's usually only open to members of tea ceremony clubs and normal students can't get in. Saying so, she takes the key out of her pocket. Oh, are you in the tea ceremony club? Yeah. Well, actually, I'm the only member. With a laugh, someone goes into the Japanese-style room. The inside of the room feels special, as if it isn't part of the school. The sensation of the tatami and the sunlight through the windows feel very relaxing.
As I said earlier, I'm the only member of the tea club. Thanks to that, I can use this place freely during lunchtime and after class. Here. Laughing, Senpai lays out cushions. I'll make some tea now, so please wait right there, Tono. Senpai heads towards the sink to prepare the tea. There's no point in standing up, so I do as I am told and sit down on the cushion. Perhaps it was the magic of the Japanese-style room. That chaotic maelstrom that had been raging in my chest calms down, and now I can finally begin to think calmly about what has happened with Yumizuka. Thanks for waiting. Here you are. Now let's have some lunch. Actually, I have some things to ask you, so it's just as well we're having lunch here. You have something to talk to me about? Puzzled, I drink the tea I'm offered. As I'm in the Japanese-style room, my posture reflexively straightened and my mind has become tranquil. While I had no connection to it, the Arima family heads a tea ceremony school. Perhaps it was because I had been raised in that kind of environment that I feel more at ease in a Japanese-style room than a Western-style one. Someone looks at me with a troubled expression. What's wrong? You look a bit worried. I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono. Really? Well, my family's a strict one, so I'm used to these kind of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about earlier. What were you talking about earlier? You mean about my family? Senpai nods and indicated yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asked full of curiosity. Well, the conversation back then must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she didn't know any of the circumstances. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that, I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I was recuperated. So in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I know my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I'd been trusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the home mansion, that is. That's why, well, thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. That's when they told me to return to the mansion. Now my old man is no longer there, and I finally agreed. And that pretty much is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Ciel gives a little nod silently. May I ask just one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright, then I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family, the Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and father, who weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building which, without a doubt, was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that, no, I liked them. They were people who didn't care that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself, and for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by these people, so I soon, even one day sooner, had to truly become family to them. I've been telling myself those words since I was young, since a very, very long time ago. Over and over, I swore, till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a single complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I considered the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. But it was no good, was it? Yeah, despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I know I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you call this a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Semi-silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? That's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It's a very meaningful story. Saying that, Senpai begins to eat her own lunch. I follow her example and start nibbling off the bread I had bought. Thanks to my conversation with Senpai, my appetite has returned. Despite that, I still couldn't even finish half of it. So, Tono, is anything troubling you right now? Why that all of a sudden? I don't have any worries in particular.
Then I suppose the reason you aren't eating much must be because of your health. Senpai stares at me. Somehow, her gaze feels very penetrating. It feels difficult to remain silent under gaze like that. I don't have any worries, but... Sorry, what do you think of the recent killings? I can't help but ask. The stories about my classmate who hasn't returned home won't leave my mind. Killings? Oh, you mean that business about the vampires? Yeah, there's already been 8 victims, right? I haven't caught the news lately, so I'm not too sure about the subject. Do you know anything? Well, I know as much as anyone else does, but no, not the details. Just that the word vampire sent chills down my spine. Ah, you mean how it seems the victims had their blood drained? Strange, isn't it? I wonder what that could mean. Who knows? It's impossible to know how such people think. But I wonder why they nicknamed him the vampire. What an odd question. Well, it isn't because the blood was drained from the bodies. It'd only be natural to call them vampires, wouldn't it? Do you know the folklore about vampires, Tono? Suddenly breaking into a smile, somebody asked an even stranger question. Vampire folklore? You mean how people who have this blood sucked by vampires become vampires themselves? Yeah, if that was true, there shouldn't be any bodies left, right? Supposing some vampire was the killer, there'd be no bodies, Tono. I see. That's true, but it's just a nickname, isn't it? Do you really believe in vampires? Not at all. After all, the fact that the bodies are there shows that it's not a vampire, right? Smiling, somebody gives a reply that seems slightly off the point. But couldn't you also think of it this way? Maybe the victims whose bodies have been found died because they couldn't become vampires. Perhaps there are those who can be turned and those who can't. The people who can become vampires won't have their corpses found even if they were attacked by vampires. Because even now they're still alive out there somewhere. But those who can't become vampires just die, and so their bodies wind up being found. Well, that's... Somebody's still smiling. I know it's only a joke, but I'm having difficulty laughing it off. Oh, I'm just joking. Be like some kind of horror story if that were really true. I don't like scary stories, so please don't ask me things like that. What? Looked to me like you were really getting into it. Yeah, I don't like scary stories, but I do like scaring you. Did I do something to make her bear a grudge against me? But all jokes aside, Tono, lately the streets have become dangerous at night. You mustn't go out. You mustn't go out, even though you're an energetic young man. Somebody gives a warning that sounds like a joke. I can't tell how serious she is. Lunch break ends and 5th period starts. The lesson on classics goes in one ear and out the other. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye, see you at school tomorrow. It's what Yumizuka said. She wouldn't say that and then run away from home. I have a bad feeling about this. The killer who wanders the town at night. It's dangerous to go out at night, the word Senpai said. Perhaps it was because of that red imagery surrounding us when we parted. Suddenly, a vision of Yumizuka Satsuki, soaked in red blood, appears before my eyes. Gah! It happened suddenly. My vision goes white, and my sense of balance reels. My field of view lurches. Something lurks in the back of my head, and my consciousness feels heavy. This is bad. I know this feeling. Some dizziness prior to an anemic attack. The blood accumulated in the brain's blood vessels become a black lump, making my head sway and my vision will go pitch black. It feels as if the blackness is pushing its way out of my brain into my eyeballs. This is bad. I haven't been collapsing during class lately. Red. It's because Yumizuka's blood red image is too fresh in my mind. My vision distorts. As darkness envelops it, I somehow grab onto my desk. But it's useless. There's no strength in my fingers. I fall towards the floor. As I do, remember her words. Tono, help me when I'm in a pinch. Okay? I told you that's impossible. Whether you may think of me, I'm not Superman. Sorry for dragging you along with me, Arihiko. Yeah, I'm used to you collapsing without warning like that. Honestly, sleeping in the infirmary up until the last minute? Just who do you think you are? You should have woken me up. There's nothing conscientious about letting me sleep until they lock us in the building. Shut up. Or, shut up! You think I'm gonna wake up a sick person? You just collapse again. Come on, we need to get back. So are we 7, you know? Arihiko walks down the corridor. After that, I collapsed from anemia and was left asleep in the infirmary. Time passed until school lockup time at 6:30 when I was awoken by Arihiko's punch. And so, we came to be walking along this deserted corridor. Hey, come on, Tono. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm coming. I shake my still woozy head and follow Arihiko. Alright, you can go home by yourself from here. See you at school tomorrow. Thanks. Sorry as always, Arihiko. Don't worry, pay me back in double in the future. Arika's answer isn't exactly in proper Japanese. Smiling wryly to myself, I decide to head back to my own house. I reach the intersection. It's still 7 in the evening, but there's no one around. I guess because of the killer, fewer people go out at night. The only figure I can see now is the back of a woman far away. Ah, blonde? The distant woman seems to be a foreigner. Even from far away, I can see her golden hair rippling as she walks. It's our queen! It draws my eyes after her. Even though I only see her from behind, I can tell she's beautiful. Suddenly my heart pounds loudly. My throat becomes inexplicably dry and parched. I break out in a cold sweat. Ugh! My head aches. It's not like the anemia earlier. Rather than fading, my consciousness becomes sharper. Ah! I gasp. That back. Watching the woman's golden hair, my head hurts terribly. My thoughts feel like they're melting into a haze. I will fall behind her and then? What am I going to do after that? The woman disappears into a group of apartments in the shopping district. I have to follow. I don't know why, but I think that. My legs move on towards the apartments. But before that. Only for an instant. At the corner of my eye, I see the figure of Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka-san? My head becomes clear. Yumizuka. It was only for an instant, but without a doubt, that was Yumizuka. Was she going towards town? What's she doing out at a time like this? I was so mad I didn't care if she disappeared or if she ran away from home. It's too dangerous for a girl to walk around town at night alone. Yumizuka walks through the crowded town. She's so far away, I'm not certain. But even if mistaken her, I decided to run after her and tell her to stop. Wait, Yumizuka! I shout, chasing after her. Yumizuka glances back, as if she heard my voice. That face. There's no confusing it. The girl walking ahead of me is unmistakably Yumizuka Satsuki, and the expression on her face wasn't frightening. But I felt a chill run through my spine. My heart beats quickly. The back of my head becomes heavy, and my throat burns. An ache assaults my head, just as it did with the blonde woman earlier. What is this? It's weird. The inside of my body is burning. I feel dizzy, as if I'm in the grip of a terrible fever. In that moment, Yumizuka begins to walk again. Wait! Yumizuka! I call out, running. Yumizuka walks on, not turning. Can't you hear me? I urge my hot body onwards. But no matter how much I try, I can't catch her. No matter how fast I run, I can't catch up to her even as she walks. Something is strange. I know that, but I can't tell what it is. Right now, all I can do is to follow Yumizuka Satsuki. And then, I lose sight of her. Yumizuka Satsuki, whom I've been chasing without success, is nowhere to be seen. Shit! What the hell is going on? I stop, catching my breath. My chest heaves deeply. Though I hadn't realized until now, I must have been running for a long time. What time is it? Resting my hands on my knee, I glance up at a nearby store window. It's already midnight. Can't be. I couldn't have been running for that long. It's hard to believe, but the clock is correct. Looking around, most of the shopping district is closed. I should go back. Even though I'm worried about Yumizuka, I feel like I won't be able to find her anymore. I chased her for almost 4 hours, calling her name all this time, but she did not even respond. What was she thinking? With a big sigh, I decided to head back to the mansion. There was no one around. The shopping district still had some people, but the way back to the mansion should be completely empty. The words serial killer run through my mind. Midnight, walking through town alone. I might be an easy prey for such an attacker. Huh? A sound. Somewhere behind a building there's a sound. I think it's the sound of someone falling? The back alley? The noise came only once. A eerie silence surrounds me. I have a bad feeling about this. Did someone collapse in the back alley? Did the wind just knock something over? Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. But, is it because I was looking for Yumizuka a while ago? I feel like she's there for some reason. What should I do? There's no one around. The only help I can rely on is this knife Kawaku-san handed me this morning. Okay, go and look. I can't ignore my feelings. With the killer skulking around town at night looking for victims, I shouldn't be investigating suspicious sounds in alleyways. But I still remember Yumizuka's smiling face from yesterday. And there's no reason for Yumizuka to be there. But if she is, she might need my help. I'll never forgive myself if I just ignore this. Alright, putting my hand in my pocket, there is the cold touch of iron. Even though I don't intend to use it, it's comforting to know that I'm not unarmed. And if it comes to it, I have my eyes too. Sensei said not to use them recklessly, but She'll find it acceptable I use it against a killer. The sound, it came from here. Preparing myself, I step into the alley. Thump. My heart pounds. The back alley is quiet. The noise came from the open area at the far end. Thump. The back of my head hurts. As if convulsing under the utmost strain, my back spine hurts as if it's about to rip itself out of my body. Hump. Why is it? I can't think, yet my instincts shout at me. Hump. Don't go. Don't go any further. If you do, you won't be able to come back. Thump. But it's already too late. I step out of the back alley and into the open space. Eh? That weak voice is all I can get out. The back alley is a single sheet of crimson. Limbs are strewn against the garbage and rubble. Not the limbs of dogs or cats or the like. They are human limbs, blood dripping from fresh meat and bone. The ground and the walls are painted with red blood. A heavy scent fills my nostrils, thick, like a red fog permeating my body, a choking smell of blood. A face, a face, a face. A face on a severed head rolling around with an expression of agony. A face shriveled up like a mummy split in halves. A face with both eyes gouged out, or so distorted I can't even tell if it used to be a man or a woman. Unable to make a sound, I merely gaze speechless at the corpses. No, they can't even be called human bodies anymore. Even a badly made sculpture looks better than this. There are 4 bodies. They roll around like scraps of leftover food. I give in shock at the sea of bodies. The back of my head throbs, my throat is parched, and my breath burns like fire. My fingertips quiver, and my mouth distorts. What is this? What is this world before my eyes? Red. Yes, before my eyes, everything that terrible color, but I merely stand. No screaming, no fear. Like the scene of an accident in a movie, I only stare at the back alley. Undoubtedly, this is how my mind is protecting myself. Otherwise, I would have gone mad. A corpse against the wall moves. No, that's wrong. It's not a corpse. It's not like the scraped hands and feet. It's a living human being with limbs attached. I see something out of place. In this ghoulish spectacle, the response to seeing someone alive is more of an astonishment than happiness. But if he's alive, I have to help him. Hello? With my mind still paralyzed, I step towards the living figure. Pulling itself up from the sea, it raises its face towards me, a face like a dried-out skull. Hi! I leap back reflexively, but the skull moves faster than I do. With the voice crying out, "Hugh! Hugh!" he jumps at me. "Hugh! Hugh!" A hideous voice right next to me. Looking down, there's a large hole in the skull's throat, preventing him from speaking correctly. The dried-up face, the dried-up arm reaching for me. In the throat of this bag of bones, vocal cords vibrate in accord with the ghastly voice. Wah! Desperately, I try to tear him off me, but he merely raises that ghastly voice and will not get off. Rip! Its fingers pierce my shoulder. My body arcs with pain. The fingers were like a sharp needle. It shreds my skin mercilessly, scooping out nerves and flesh as it goes. Ah! The pain is so great that I can say nothing else. Though I try to tear him off of me screaming, he is too strong. Whatever I do, he does not move. With a creak, the skull's jaw opens. The mouth opens wide enough to rip off my shoulder with a single bite, and he approaches my face saying, "I don't want to die. Somebody save me." I can't even say stop. The guy made only of skin and bones tries to bite my head, and suddenly he collapses. The awesome power vanishes. The bag of bones is in a person's form crumbles to the ground and disappears. Softly, like a bad dream, it turns to ash and blows away. What the hell is this? Pain runs through my shoulder. My own blood flows down my back. The pain is real, so this must be real. A terrible nightmare. But it can't be a nightmare, because it's not a dream. Tono, it will be dangerous if you stay there. I turn towards the voice behind me. The mouth of the alley where I came from, I see Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka? Good evening. Fancy meeting you in a place like this, huh? As if we had merely bumped into each other in the mall, Yumizuka greets me lightheartedly. Yumizuka, what are you doing out at a time like this? Oh, just going for a walk. But what's Tono doing? Killing so many people like this is bad, right? Yumizuka says with a light smile. Killing so many people, I look around me, and I remember the tragic scene I'm surrounded by. In a sea of blood, Tonoshiki stands aghast like a murderer. No! This wasn't me! Oh, of course it was! Everyone's dead and Tono's alive, so obviously Tono must have killed them. No way! It just attacked me. I point at the monster that attacked me moments ago, but nothing's there. Even the ashes of bones that have been blown away by the wind. I swallow my breath. Yumizuka is chuckling. This wasn't me. My head is paralyzed and can only manage broken language. I understand. I can think clearly, but I can't put my thoughts into words. For example, why is Yumizuka at a place like this after running away from home? For example, why is Yumizuka laughing in the face of this tragic scene? Yumizuka, Yeah, I know. You just interrupted someone's meal. I'm sorry for sounding mean. I always act against my feelings, so I'm always acting like this to you. Yumizuka is still laughing. It's so inappropriate for this scene, I feel a chill. Yumizuka doesn't move from the entrance to the alley. Her arms are positioned strangely, as if she's hiding something behind her back, and, looking closer, there are spots of something red on her sleeve. Yumizuka, What is it? Your face looks scary, Tono. She laughs again. No. Somehow, this girl cannot be Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka, why are you hiding your hands like that? Have I been found out? I guess you're too observant to miss that, huh? I've always liked that about you, Shiki. After emphasizing the Shiki-kun, she brings her hands out. Both hands are dyed crimson. Not yet dry, the blood drips off them in red droplets. And proudly, Yumizuka Satsuki is smiling. Yumizuka, your hands. Yeah, I killed those people. Oh, but it's okay. I didn't kill them because I hated them. I just needed their blood to live, so I had to kill them. What is this? I don't really understand what Yumizuka is saying. You really killed them, Yumizuka? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you it's a lie, right? Or do you think it's impossible for a girl like me to do such a thing? Her voice laughs softly. I don't believe her, but she is definitely not telling a lie. This tragic scene, it's all Yumizuka's doing. Why such a terrible thing? It's not terrible. Like I said, I didn't kill them because I hated them. There's nothing wrong with killing others in order to live, is there, Shiki? What? That's absurd! Killing is wrong! No, it's not. But I did do one bad thing. Since today was my first time drinking blood, I let a little of my blood get back into them. Because of that, you got attacked, Shiki. I'm sorry for getting you involved. But we're lucky. It died without being able to finish changing. What are you talking about, Yumizuka? It's okay if you don't understand right now. I don't really understand myself yet, so I can't explain it very well. But I think after a few days, I can become like Shiki-kun. Like Shiki-kun, become a great... As she says so, her face distorts in pain. How? Rasps of agony echo from her throat. Yumizuka chokes up blood. It hurts. I guess even if I'm hungry, I shouldn't just drink blood at random. If it's not good quality and beautiful blood, it won't agree with me. She breaks out in a fit of coughing. She chokes out blood with every cough. Yumizuka's body convulses. I don't really understand. All I know is Yumizuka's in terrible pain. That's all I can clearly understand. Hey, are you okay, Yumizuka? I run towards her to take her hand. No! Don't come any closer, Shiki! But Yumizuka's voice stops me. You mustn't. I'm not entirely okay, Shiki. She speaks painfully, still vomiting red blood. Yumizuka, I don't understand. Why Yumizuka's in pain or why she's like this. What the hell is going on? You said you killed those people, but it's a lie, right, Yumizuka? If you're in that much pain, shouldn't you be in the hospital? I'm fooling myself. Even though I understand Yumizuka brought about this tragic scene, I still lie to myself. Yumizuka, I'm coming over there, okay? I speak gently, but Yumizuka shakes her head in violent refusal. Why? If you're in pain, we have to get you to a hospital right away. Shiki, you're not getting it. You really never understand anything. Idiot! I told you before I don't understand. Ah, yeah, you did, didn't you? But you're still here. Yumizuka begins to pull away. It hurts, Shiki. Shiki. She breathes raggedly, coughing up red blood. It hurts, it's cold, and I'm scared. I really want your help right now, Shiki, but it's too early. Saying that, Yumizuka straightens up again. Wait for me, okay? I'll go become a great vampire, then I'll come back and see you. Wait, Yumizuka! Yumizuka is gone. Even if as I start to run, Yumizuka is long gone. Her speed is inhuman, like that of a wild beast. Yumizuka, what happened to you, really? My injured shoulder throbs. When I look back, the open space where all the limbs were scattered only left red blood. The faces, the organs, the hands, and the feet. They all turned to ashes like the skull did before. Shit. Angrily, I strike the wall. What the hell is going on? I bellow pointlessly, and the alley echoes my voice. Next thing I know, I'm at the gates of the mansion. The wound on my shoulder aches. The lights of the mansion are dark. Somehow I hadn't realized I would be coming back so late. Akiha will surely be angry with me, I think as I put my hand on the heavy doors. Lobby's empty. So what should I do? Even though my wound needs treating, Kaku-san is probably asleep. Nissan? Akiha? I look up in the direction of the voice. Akiha is standing on the stairs. It is you. Coming back so late at night, just what do you think? Akiha reaches the bottom of the stairs and Rebuke stops. Nina, where did you hurt your shoulder? Ah, damn it. I had wanted to hide the wound, but it's too late now. No, this is... Never mind. Hold still. Is it only your shoulder? Yeah, but how do you know... I can tell with all that blood on your clothes. I'll hear about it later, but right now we'll treat it. Please forgive me, Nissan. Saying so, Akiha touches my shoulder. My body jumps at only the slight touch of Akiha's finger. It appears that the wound is deeper than I thought. I'm sorry, did it hurt? No, I'd like to say I'm okay, but I guess I'm not. Even a touch is really painful. I see. If it's this deep, I think it's too much for Kawaku. I'll treat it, so please go into the sitting room. Akiha walks upstairs. Whew. I turn on the sitting room lights and sit on the sofa. The wound on my shoulder hurts and begins to become unbearable. Sorry for making you wait. I'll treat the wound, so please relax. Akiha comes in holding the first aid kit. I don't think that would really help on this wound, but I guess I should at least get it disinfected. Akiha moves behind me and begins to treat the wound. The uniform, damp with blood, is cut away with scissors, and the wound is exposed and disinfected. Ugh! I clench my fist as the pain flashes through my body, but after that, the ache of the wound begins to fade. Akiha must be skilled at medical care, or perhaps the wound wasn't so bad to begin with. After a few minutes, the pain completely goes away. Alright, we're done. I expect a wound like that should be healed by the morning. Akiha packs away the first aid kit. Somehow I'm surprised. I would have expected Akiha to ask where I got injured and to rebuke me for playing outside so late. You haven't asked, Akiha. I haven't asked. About what? Well, you know, why am I back so late? Why I'm hurt. I blurted out like a complaint. After what happened with you, Misuka, I'm exhausted. And because I'm tired, I said such a thing. Nissan, I think I know the right order for things. Right now the priority is to tend to your injury. I see. Of course, I see. Oh, what kind of person do you think I was, Nissan? I'm not about to yell at someone who's hurt. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. But even though you treated it, you're gonna say you can't explain the situation, right? I don't want to listen to your excuses, but today is special. If you do not wish to talk about it, I won't inquire either. Is that okay? I came back so late at night. Certainly, I am curious about what might have happened to you, but I trust you and have enough trust to believe you aren't doing something too dangerous. And I can't force someone to talk when they look like that. Akiha looks away shyly. Look like that? Is my expression that bad right now? I'll listen when you have recovered, Nissan. If you rest overnight, your health should improve. Feeling awkward, I look away from Akiha. I'm glad she won't listen to me until I'm better, but I feel like I won't be able to talk about it even in the morning. In the end, I can't tell Akiha anything. I feel too guilty to even look at her face. Akiha, Oh, please don't keep making that face. I told you I'll make an exception today, so go back to your room and rest, alright? I bet it's something you can't talk to me about anyway. Having read my expression perfectly, Akiha turns and goes out to the lobby. I can only sit on the sofa and watch her leave. Suddenly, I wonder, was Akiha waiting for my return? Is that how she appeared in the lobby so quickly? Akiha. What is it? Thank you for treating me. I'm sorry for making you worry. Suddenly, Akiha stops walking, and then she turns away. I wasn't worried about you, Nissan. If you've that much energy for flattery, you should concentrate on taking care of yourself. With a crash, she slams the door behind her. I really don't understand her, but I do understand she was worried about me. Seems like I wasn't doing something too dangerous, huh? Aki seems to believe me since she said that. But really, it was a frighteningly dangerous scene. The body scattered in the back alley. The figure of Yumizuka, her hands stained red with blood. Ugh. A chill runs through me just at the memory. I stand up, taking care of my wound, and return to my room. I change clothes and fall onto the bed, but if I close my eyes, I'll see the scene in the back alley. I killed all those people. Yumizuka said so, as if it was nothing. I needed their blood, so she killed them. Just like a vampire. Like a bad joke. Wait, okay. I'll go become a great vampire. I don't remember. What did Yumizuka say at the end? Huh, sleepiness fills my body. With Yumizuka's face still etched in my mind, I close my eyes, slowly. Only one thing is clear, that Yumizuka told the truth, and she really did slaughter all those people. But even then, instead of fearing everything that happened, I'm more concerned about one thing she said. It hurts. It really hurts, Tono. There's something wrong with me. Yumizuka is really a murderer, but those words will not leave my mind. Well, I think that's probably where I'm just gonna end it off. I don't know why I'm taking so long to read these. Probably because it's new content, actually. Anyways, so found out that Yumi was a vampire, and not really sure what to say about it. She just kind of. I wonder who. Actually, yeah. I wonder who sucked her blood, though. And also, Shiki was being little slouchy bitch again. Well, guess that's it for today's episode, guys. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. See you later.